Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the GDQ Hotfix. My name is Smooth Operative, and welcome to Time Capsule. It's the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games that were released in the same year. And tonight we are headed back to the glorious year of 1997 with speedruns of Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, and later Tomb Raider 2 All Secrets. But before we get into this dino treasure hunt, let's cover a few announcements. First of all, thank you so much for watching our Frame Fatales marathon last week. If you did, we raised over $135K during our all-women speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, and that's all thanks to all of you. So you can check out the playlist at youtube.com/gamesdonequick to seek out any runs you may have missed. And while you're there perusing the main channel, why not check out our highlights channel, which can be accessed via Twitch chat. If you type !highlights, you'll be able to go straight there. But anyway, thank you for listening to that. We are going to get into the games, and we're starting with Turok, and I have Chaos Wolf here to start off with introductions. So hi, Chaos.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chaos Wolf, the little talking green wolf you see on screen, and we're going to play Turok Dinosaur Hunter in the any percent category, meaning we're just going to finish as fast as possible. I have with me my commentator, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello guys, I'm Holy Hin, also a Turok runner and born in the year 1997, so very, very fitting. I'm very happy to be here.
Perfect. Love it. Thank you both for being here.
Okay, so real quick, we play this on easy. That is, it is not an easy speed run, as you'll probably see. Its timer is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Good luck.
First things first, you'll notice right away we move diagonally, and this is common for FPS games from the 90s. The game just has some kind of weird calculation whenever you're pressing two directional keys, and we end up going faster, so that is primarily how we get around. And secondly, there's the platforming. You'll see me oftentimes try to optimize my jumping to dip a little bit into the air, and that is to avoid deceleration. So anyway, Holy, if you would like to explain the Dorito routing.
Right, so as is very common with like a lot of old school games, Doritos, the little cute triangles everywhere, basically give you an extra life for 100. And because we do quite a lot of death warping in this run, we always want to make sure that we have just enough lives to not get a game over, because obviously that would be bad.
Okay, so what I just did there, that little mini boss you saw, I pulled arrow back for about exactly 2 seconds, and that preps a one-shot arrow, and you can kill almost anything aside from bosses and some armored enemies later in the game. And he is essentially the trigger for those pillars to lower.
Another thing with the deceleration Wolf was talking about earlier is that it basically works that you want to land right at the apex of your jump, right at the absolute top, and that way you don't deaccelerate, which is also a really good excuse for when you watch a stream or like a good pace run, die to a very easy jump. You can always excuse yourself for like, oh no, I was trying to go for a speed boost. I was trying to be greedy here. And that's the, at least for me, number one used excuse for missing jumps.
Alright, in this cave here, there's a lot of these creatures called leapers, so I'll be prepping an arrow in case I need to take any of them out. There's a big one right there, and wow, every one of them gave us a free pass. This actually doesn't happen often.
Yeah, there are like two big things in Turok that can really be annoying. One of them is the shooting RNG of your enemies, the hit scan, especially because you can go for some low health death warps later on. And the other is just being body blocked all the time. Turok enemies in both games kind of tend to body block you.
Our goal throughout the entire run is to collect these keys, and that will allow progression into later levels. There's two more left to get in this level. An interesting note about this key here, there is also a secret weapon in the game called the Chronoceptor. Picking up this key, for some reason, it's a bug in the code, also gives you that first piece of the Chronoceptor. And that's the only time in the game that happens. So for the 100% category, you can pretty much follow the same route. Now dropping down into this cave, there's going to be some water, and we can perform a quick hop across it. And I got blocked by the beetle.
Oh, the beautiful beetle. But yeah, the water hop is really nice and is going to be used a lot later on in the run as well. There are some longer portions of water where you can just hop over.
Alright, so next up is... it's the second level in the speedrun, but it's level 3 by name, the Ancient City. It's going to introduce some more difficult platforming, some different, some new techniques. First of which is going to be a double jump, which for this one only saves about 3 seconds. But it allows us to skip having to go around, and I'm already dropped input. There we go.
Nice. It's kind of a weird thing with the wall jumps where you have to completely let go of the movement keys for a short time to like perform it. And they can feel very uncomfortable at first learning the run, especially in the later wall hops where like you can actually die from not performing it correctly. It's very scary.
Right here, we're going to tag that save point for our respawn because we have our first death warp coming up. And it's one of the only ones that we have no pit to drop off in to kill ourselves instantly, so we rely on enemies to do it. Unfortunately, those enemies in this next area are raptors, and they tend to wander around like they're drunk and not really cooperate. I am trying to get fortunately could not show that off. That is known as the chain jump. We basically trigger ourselves to fall, and we catch ourselves, and it allows us to jump up, get through there a little bit early, but I couldn't quite catch it. There we go.
Those raptors were nice to you. I usually take way longer for them to make anything happen. As you said, drunk animals running around trying to hit you, but not really managing to.
Coming up in this section is used to be one of the biggest reset points until a runner by the name of Guillermo found us a setup, and it relies on a music cue. Now I have the music muted because of DMCA, but we're safe in this cave. I can turn it on and listen for it. There it is, and I'm going to collect those purple Doritos. They give us 10. I'm going to tag that just for safety, because this platforming right here is really scary, especially to do fast. And now we'll move on to the first boss.
Nice.
We face off with the Long Hunter. Normally, you're supposed to fight 2 of these Hummers that come out. There he is. He runs off. Hummers come out, but explosions are actually really broken, and we can just start killing him right away. Just for safety, I'm going to take cover behind him while we finish him off. Once his animation freezes, that's how we know he's dead. Now we intentionally take a death here because upon respawn, the game will check to see that the Long Hunter is dead, and it will spawn the key for us.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Always makes me happy to see a smooth Long Hunter like that. It's the bane of my existence. I think of a lot of runners' existence is Long Hunter and getting a good one.
Yeah. The optimizing how fast the Hummers can kill you is kind of scary.
Yeah, one split second too late and you're dead. Oops.
So, Jungle is level 2 by name. It's, for the longest time, was the most boring level, because it didn't have anything new for the longest time, for years. And until quite recently, a runner by the name of Jack, or Dr. Jekyll, he discovered that Turok as a FPS game is so gun-centric that your retrieval for items and key items and such is dependent on the weapon position, and we can extend the hitbox by simply shooting. So you will see that later on near the end of this level. We will jump and fire our weapon and grab the key. I'm actually, just for a little bit of safety, grab that right there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Again, Turok can have like a lot of mean RNG, and there's a gauntlet coming up later, where like if you're unlucky, you just take a lot of damage. Even on easy mode, you just take so much damage in. But yeah, that trick at the end, I'm always looking forward to it so much. I'm like really hyped for it right now. It's such a simple trick, but just the fact that after so many years we found it, and like now we have something to look forward to on this level, is just amazing.
Okay, so there's another key retrieval that we're going to do, and there's a couple of raptors that can possibly, it's a very low chance, but just for safety, because they're right there, we go ahead and take them out, because we have to jump across, and sometimes they can just body block us and we'll fall to our death. But, there is sort of a way to skip this cave, but it's turned out to be tasks only.
This? I didn't know. I want to do that.
It utilizes the cannonball, which we'll explain later.
Got it. I mean, every time I hear task only, my first thought is like, I want to do it. And then after like 10 minutes of trying, I'm like, nah, I don't. Never mind.
Again, for safety, I'm going to pick up that. Pop these two here. There we go. We got the nice, smooth speed boost right there.
Love to see it. And there we go. That was the gauntlet.
Yeah, that gauntlet could be pretty scary.
It either looks like nothing at all, or when you've seen enough runs or played enough runs, you know that, oops, 50 health gone from that one guy at the end of the bridge, especially.
Right here, we pick up some supplies by blowing open the cave right there with our tech arrows. And now coming up is the trick we discussed earlier. It's called Ultra Hand, and there it is, first try.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
All we have left now is to... Oh yeah, I didn't mention, it's worth noting, that trick saves 15 seconds for not having been discovered for years. Yeah, I imagine the community was very shocked about that.
It's a huge time save, and especially like the usual route was walking right next to the portal, and that was just like kind of unnecessary filler in a way. It felt like it.
So right there, I'm making a save, not for safety, but for actual speed tech we will bring up again later. First, we're going to show off the ceiling glide. All you do is just jump and hold, and you go down a little bit faster. Now I'm going to ready up another one-shot arrow. Now coming up is the cannonball, or more colorfully for this level, the catacombs. We call it catacannon. I'm going to line myself up. There we go. We're tricking the game to thinking we're falling right now, and it builds up falling speed, and we just look in the direction we want to go and unleash all that speed, get across that gap, and that saves close to a minute, so it's really significant.
Your catacannons are so incredibly smooth. I tried to like jump into that edge like 5 times. 6 times, and you always get hurt if you don't do it right, and you're like, no. That was so incredibly smooth. And Catacombs is like, if you played Turok, you probably remember this level as being like the most complicated. But in speedrunning, it's so simple now, thanks to the techniques.
Uh-oh. Is it This is a long swim if I can't get the clip. It's not going to give it to me.
But
Feels bad, man.
you got it like in the practice one we had like instantly. So I guess we had it coming.
Okay, so now the load warping. We load up the old save, and then now we load the new save. What that does is carry over all of our inventory. So all the keys we've collected, all of our weapons, gets carried over to the old save, so we can continue progressing.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling how it works. It's super fascinating that when you're teleporting to any location in the transition, if you load, you just keep your stuff. Or you get the stuff from the save, and you can break the game quite a lot with that. And now we've got Kenyan coming up, which is quite the intense platforming. And that was pretty smooth. I'm always really hyped to see this.
Okay, yeah, that part always makes me really nervous, especially in a setting like this. I played it a little bit safe. There's some speed boosts you can get, but it's very risky. But we got through it. Now we're gonna trigger that switch to get that gate to lower. It's really slow, so we're gonna take care of other stuff first. We're going to come up and tag this checkpoint. There we go, got over that. I'm gonna start prepping a one-shot arrow. Oh, I didn't hold it down long enough. There we go.
The problem with one-shot arrows is that when you have to hold them exactly 2 seconds, and there's like a particle that pops up at 2 seconds, but because it's an actual particle in the world, when you walk forward, you don't see it anymore. And so we just have to rely completely on feeling. And you develop that feeling, but you can always manage to like not do it correctly. It's kind of tricky.
What happened there? What happened there with the oh no. Staircase of shame.
Happens to the best of us.
So what happened there with the checkpoint is you nudge up against that wall, and then you wait like a second or two, and the wall will get detected, and you just slip right through it, or it will detect you on the wall for a collision. And yeah, it's difficult to understand, but the important thing is that short pause that you do, because you need to give it time to put you on that collision wall. Now coming up is we kill this gazelle. Don't ask why. Just do it for me, please. Anyway, I'm gonna tag this and pick up our grenade launcher and drop down. I have my map pulled up so that I can see where I'm landing.
Beautiful. I love these Village so much.
Treetop Village has a lot of platforming in it. That's like right there, jumping behind the tree, and now we have another one shot, and I'm mistiming all of these today. All right, quick Dorito check. We are good. That is more than enough. All right, let's see. We get the water hops. So you saw this earlier in the first level, and to some extent, jungle. Basically, what I do, some runners have a preference. I double tap space. Holy hit here, he single taps. But yeah, the idea is to jump right on top of the surface of the water. And it's just one of those things you have to feel out.
There's a little bit of a window, I feel like, with them, that you can try to go for speed boost, but yeah, whatever feels the best.
So that section I just passed up, there was one of those gorilla enemies called the Perlin. There is a trick you can do. I didn't go for it because it's one of those things that's high risk and low reward. It only gives you about 5 seconds of time save, and I intentionally did not even practice it because it takes a lot to get down.
Right. The entire idea behind the trick is that the purlin can toss you, and you see in this map how there are like a lot of like narrow walkways, and you kind of want to stand in like the exact position and move in the exact way that the purlin, instead of having to walk the entire boring walkway, the purlin just tosses you over and like you hit a specific spot. It's a really cool trick, but it's so not worth it unless you really want to style on the game, and I don't think the game cares that much. I mean, in my experience, or in our experience probably, the game kind of gets pissed off at that more often than not. When you try to style on it. It's mean.
Right here is the worst ladder in the game because it shares the textures with the stilts that are holding up the hut. Many runners, including myself, have fallen there because it just kind of tricks your eyes into thinking you're okay, and you end up jumping right past it.
Honestly.
All right. Now for another gauntlet run. These guys, it doesn't look like any of them are even interested in taking a shot at me. There we go, there's a few, but they're all missing. Coming up is a trick. We used to do something called the God Jump, but we've made we've incorporated the cannonball tricks into this one, and now we have God Cannon. As soon as this lowers, I'm going to tag this checkpoint. I'm going to... There we go. And... Good.
Nice. God, that trick still gives me the tingles, even watching it. But that worked out so well.
Yeah, you're hanging off a death pit, so it's without practice, it's very scary. So we're gonna tag this checkpoint. Now coming up is another one of those double jumps as performed in Ancient City, but this one's over a death pit, so it's much scarier. Oh! Okay. I prepared for this. There's a quick save. Those are that uses a console command, which are not allowed in official runs, but in this kind of a setting, the community has deemed it necessary. There we go.
Beautiful. Also, this jump looked incredibly easy, but it turns out there's an invisible wall, and you actually kind of have a narrow path to like jump to that bridge. So even though it looked very simple, it is actually very scary to do.
Oops. We're only supposed to dip in there a second. I started to play. All right. So now level 7, the Lost Land, or for some people, the Land of Lost Runs, because there's a lot of things in this level that can catch you off guard and end up just killing your run. It's deceptively tricky. All right, these pillars here rely on us killing the aliens. Okay, that was actually really quick.
You got it, damn.
Which one is it?
I don't actually know which one. Oh, there we go.
So I got that kill so quickly, it caught me completely off guard, and I probably wouldn't have made that jump to that pillar as it rose up. Usually he gets away or the grenade takes a moment, but it got it like instantly. And now we have another one-shot arrow against probably one of the toughest non-boss enemies in the whole game is that Triceratops. Now I'm going to turn on my map because I need to fall onto a platform. There we go.
I love how you don't even look down. You just jump with the map. I know you have the map, but I would still look down because the platforms are still coming up. So smooth.
I'm just used to playing back in N64 days where I couldn't see 2 feet in front of me, so I had to rely on the map.
Yeah, I remember that.
For those of you who don't know, the draw distance in the original N64 version was pretty low, so yeah, very thick fog. Alright, coming up is another pillar section. There is kind of a skip for it, but I'm not going to go for it because it's pretty hard to catch yourself. You need like really good reaction speed, and that thing ate my jump.
And that's the reason why we go for the skip. Not only is it faster, but these pillars can be so incredibly annoying.
Well, I'm going for it now.
Yeah, I respect that.
Come on. Come on.
It's very tricky to get.
Oh. All right,
You can see how you like sometimes we sometimes zip up just a tiny bit, and you kind of have to use that tiny bit, that small timing window, to press jump without then, of course, because we're running into the wall, straight running into the wall in a rhythm. We have to also then drop the movement key instantly.
Are you kidding me?
That was almost such a good save, though. I've never seen a save like that before. Like almost.
This is why the skip was discovered, because the fall animation will trigger and it'll just eat your input. It tried to do it again. Wow.
Jeez.
Those pillars are cursed this run. Okay. Of all the things that give me trouble. Okay.
But the safe, though. The safe.
One more key to get, and we have another checkpoint we need to skip. This one is similar to the one in level 4 of the ruins, but it's a bit harder to pull off. But you can make your life easier by clearing out these enemies that are around it, like these 2 raptors. And I'm going to pull up my map because it will update once it... Wow, that was quick. That was actually really quick.
That was so good.
Where are we at on lives? Okay, that's good. I had to check.
You saw the 12 Doritos and you got scared for a second?
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
I had only 5 and I was like, oh no, did I miss some?
Yeah, like a lot of Doritos up here, but like it can still get scary sometimes.
All right, now we make another save. We ready up our fusion cannon. We load up the old catacomb save, and we bring all that over to face off against the mantis, and we kill her really quick.
Yeah, quite beautiful. And because of our ammo routing, we also get the instant next fusion cannon shot because all of our other ammunition is completely full. Oh, nice.
It was a perfect 3-shot. Usually we finish up with the auto shotgun, but didn't need to.
Oh, some good stuff. Mantis used to be a very skill-based boss. You had to like aim and hit the grenades while moving. You had to really know what you were doing. Now you just shoot 3 times, and it's beautiful. It's so lovely.
Okay, now made it to the final level. There's nothing really to collect here, but this level is just jam-packed. Tight corridors filled with really tough enemies. Namely those red robots. You saw me run by one of them. They are probably the most dangerous enemy in the entire game. I'd say even more dangerous than a chain gunner in Doom 2. But we got plenty of health right now because I load warped right into this level. And I'm going to do so again right when we get to the next teleporter, just for extra safety. Usually we only do it once, and the reason why is to get our backpack, because that was on that save. The death warp that we took at the end of Lost Land, anytime you die, you lose your backpack, so we need it. There it is again. Now, coming up is a trick that was named after myself, the wolf clip. I'm not great at getting it. It only saves about 2 seconds, but everybody goes for it because we just want to squeeze every bit in we can, and we didn't get it. Basically, what happens is I'll clip through there and drop instantly to the bottom.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a trick.
You got
ahead.
a tiny bit of a setup for it, but I don't think anyone... Is there anyone that is consistent at it? I don't think so, right? It's super tricky to get.
Even Jack, the world record holder, he doesn't always get it. He's good at it, but you know, there's always that chance that he'll get it. He'll miss it. Now coming up is a trick. What is this trick called, Holy? I believe it's named after somebody.
Yeah, I believe what you're talking about is the holy jump, which is named after me, and it is unfortunately or fortunately one of the trickiest jumps in the game that has absolutely almost no reward because you save like, I don't know, like 2 seconds and it's coming up right here.
It's very precise, very precise. It just skips that elevator right there. I tried.
Before that, we usually just jumped over that first pillar onto the elevator that comes up, and at some point I got kind of bored of like waiting for the elevator, and then I don't think anyone actually goes for this jump, but it exists. Saves it like half a second, I think, and if you miss it, you lose a lot.
Yeah. All right. Coming up is the sewage beast. It's one of the rarest enemies in the game. That's pretty much the only time you ever see them. Is right there.
Your body blocks have been amazing. You're not getting body blocked almost at all.
I'm surprised it's playing nice in that aspect, and not so much with the platforming. Yeah, that ceiling has no collision.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful. I would be so happy with your... I mean, you're saying this, but like even in the practice runs I've seen, your body blocking has been really, really... Like no one has been body blocking you. The game likes you. I don't see that a lot.
Well, there is this one gazelle that is the only one that has a name in the whole game, and I can't say it. Anyway, we're going to fill up our explosive shell ammo here. And another thing to note is we want to keep our health above 100 so that health doesn't spawn in the next boss fight. So there is another ultra health, which will give us 100 on top of what we have already. There's just one more death pit. This is called the Bridge of Death because it is very narrow and there's all these enemies blocking you. There we go. So I'm readying up my fusion cannon for a face off against the T-Rex boss called Thunder. Important note, right at the start, when he roars like this, he has iframes, so you have to wait a second, and we fire all 3 of our shots. Swap to the auto shotgun. Once we get to about 10, oops, I did that slightly too early. I ended up letting go of my mouse, but anyway, so we've topped off our explosive shells, and now we just finish him off with grenades.
We're gonna need the explosive shells for the next boss, so that's why we're doing it this way. But your grenade, with the knife. Unbelievable, so rude. But yeah, we wanna make sure to have the explosive shells for the last boss that comes right after this. But also your thunder was so clean with the grenades. Did he give any wars? I don't think so, right?
Not a single one.
nice because he can sometimes do them just in the middle of the fight if he's feeling like it. It's quite nice if you're on a really good pace, and he does that. Always kind.
Yeah, you lose about 3 to 4 seconds whenever he roars, so it's really frustrating when you're on PB pace. So we're going to start off with the quad rocket launcher. It's the first time we ever pick it up in the run. Everywhere else is out of the way. And time is going to be coming up as soon as we finish him off here. Oh, I better keep my distance because I'm blowing myself up. He's jumping around. This is what you do not want to see. And time.
GG. Wow, what a way to end a run. That was awesome.
And that is Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I want to thank GDQ for once again having me. Big thank you to Holy Hit for commentating for me. Shout outs to the Turok speedrunning community. If you would like to join up, you can go to speedrun.com/ what is that link? You could do a search for it and just go to that leaderboard and there will be a link there. And yeah, I do a lot of FPS game speedruns if you would like to give me a follow. And I'm going to throw it over to you, Holy Hit.
Yeah, first of all, great run, very smooth. I'm very glad that I was able to commentate for you. Again, just a huge shout out to the Turok community, very welcoming. I started back then for GDQ or because of GDQ, and I'm very happy to be here now. And yeah, if you want to follow me, just HolyHit on Twitter and HolyHit44 on Twitch. I usually stream StarCraft, but I also do my occasional Turok ones still. It's a really fun, although very mean game, but it's also very easy to get into, honestly.
Nice. Well, thank you both so much for being here. I'll post a link to both of their Twitch channels in the chat. So yeah, make sure you follow Chaos_Wolf and HolyHit44 if you had fun with Turok. Before we break, I just want to say that if you are into Instagram, make sure you check out our Instagram page at Games Done Quick to get bite-sized clips from our Hotfix shows and to get a sneak peek at what happens behind the scenes at our events. And of course, a big shout out to all of our channel supporters. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support our weekly Hotfix content, so please consider subscribing if you do enjoy these Hotfix shows. We will be right back, but stay tuned because we've got a juicy little secrets run of Tomb Raider 2 coming up next.